Hi everybody. Getting close enough with this scene. Actually put some pictures on some of the like Facebook groups, so I thought I'd go ahead and shoot a quick video about it, give you guys more of just a in-depth of what I've done rather than just a picture. On the Facebook groups I said that the story is that the fire marshal, the local Rotary Club wanted to use this building for a haunted house, but the fire marshal said it's too unsafe. So turned him down. So I'm going to go over some of the details now, some of the things I've done. Probably to do that, the best thing would be to take the camera off the tripod because I can only zoom in so far. I'll try zooming in a little bit. Yes, that's as close as I can get. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and fly it around, hopefully not make you dizzy. Flying around wasn't working. It was a really terrible video. So let me just move the camera a bunch of times, shoot a bunch of different short videos. Okay, so this is Chars Soda Shop. It was a DPM building. So I painted it all Tamiya matte white, assembled it, and painted it all. Then I brush painted the details, different colors. And you saw what it looked like before I weathered it. Then I took some matte black paint. I held it about 18 inches above it, and I rotated it side to side. And I drifted the matte black down on top of it. I just made passes across it. I'd look at it, say, no, I want it more. Just kept going back and forth until I liked the way it looked. Now the back of this isn't even finished. I mean, I didn't even paint the back of it. Can't see it, obviously. Really can't even see the left side, hardly, but I did go ahead and paint it because you can see down the alley a little bit. So basically this and the other side are what you can see. So the gold metal models, window shades, I broke one of them. I did make the glass, had a special treatment on the glass. What I did was I had some wood deck tan Tamiya paint. And I actually, see if I can do this, I did the same thing. I laid the acetate down on the flat and I just misted that wood deck tan over top of it so it looks like it's really super dusty glass. And then I put it in the building. So again, this is an abandoned building. So it doesn't show up as much on the camera as it does in real life. That's about as much as I can zoom in, but it's an effective technique. I liked it. The white paper, again, I've seen abandoned buildings. Towns don't want, it looks bad when they have abandoned buildings, so a lot of times they'll block the windows out a little bit, or maybe put little displays and block behind the displays. So that's just like some white tissue paper that came in the sheets of acetate to keep them from scratching each other. So that's what I did there. So let me move the camera a little bit, and then I'll talk about the next section. Okay, real quick, just shooting down the alley. Actually, this gravel, it's ballast. What I did was I took a mortar and a pestle, and I ground it up because I didn't want it to look like I used ballast on everything. Now, if you're an HO, you can use HO scale ballast on the track and use N-scale ballast for gravel. You can't do that in N-scale. So actually, I ground it up. And I used it over here on the other side of the building too. I've got a super tree back here, and actually you can't see it on the camera, but there's a roof line of a garage back there, and there's a fence. It's the same fence you'll see on the other side, but I don't have really any way of lighting it. Well, I do. Let me shine this back. Maybe that'll help you. Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, just detail that a little bit, but that's all for that. I'll get to the other side of the building. So I've mentioned before in some of my videos how my railroad is better through the suggestions of others. And this is one of those cases. When I first put these vines on, all this is I put white glue on and sprinkled ground foam on. I just take my finger and sort of tamp it down, make sure it sticks, and I shake it off, and what's left. First put it on there, and I took pictures. I was kind of proud of it, and sent to a couple people. And good friends will be honest in their opinions without trying to hurt your feelings. But my friend Fran said, Tom, it just doesn't look right. It's too symmetrical. These vines are too symmetrical. So he was right. It was just, so I attacked it again. I added a lot more vines. It's a lot more vinier now, and I'm a lot happier with it through his suggestion. So appreciate that as always, Fran. Over here, the downspout is broken off. Got rust and green algae running down the wall. Vine comes all the way up the back. So I just poked the building out of place. It's not fastened in. I don't intend to fasten it in. Vines coming up, and eventually they'll overtake the whole side. Then I've got a super tree here. I had a couple of super trees that actually got mashed flat. So I just thought it'd be a good place for it. I've got the fence back here, and again, this area right in here is going to be where eventually this is going to be the back part of Cedar Heights clay. And this is some more of the gravel. It's against the ballast that I put in the mortar and pestle and just ground it down so it looks a little bit finer than you're not driving over ballast, railroad ballast in here. So I'm about done with this scene here. So let's go look at the roof. So if you remember on my bridge module, when I tried to follow Luke Towan, he uses ground up leaves as ground cover underneath the trees. That's what I did here. I had a bunch of those leaves left over, so they're actually off my tree that we cut down last summer. All dried out, so I just used them, scattered them all around the edges like they would be on an abandoned building, and they clog up downspouts and everything. I've got some big patches on the roof. When I put the rubbing alcohol and glue on it, it sort of stained the roof a little bit, and I painted over that twice. And the stain just came back. I thought, well, it's okay. It's an abandoned building. Maybe that's realistic. And just have the roof hatch back there. And you can see the vines coming up around this chimney here. Eventually, the whole thing will get covered up. Now, my brother-in-law came up with a suggestion to put like a big sign on this wall over here, and he's working on one. Wish I'd have done it before I would have done all the rest of the weathering, but I think depends on how big the sign is. I might be able to put one there. So I might not be done with the building completely, but if it is going to be, it's going to be like the painted sign that's sort of like almost faded away, what they call them ghost signs. That's what it'll be like. But I'm pretty happy with what I have now, so I don't want to ruin the building trying to do that. So let's talk about the whole scene. So here's the whole scene. Again, I'm just about done. If you remember, the building I'm going to put down here is a Craftsman kit. So I'm going to West Virginia and Indiana the next 2 weeks. Actually, Indiana and then West Virginia. Leaving on Sunday, coming back on Friday both weeks. So I'm going to take a couple kits with me. Probably also take a couple of cars to decal. But it's September and the weather's supposed to be nice. It stays light, fairly late. So I'll probably do a lot of rail fanning. So I don't know how much I'll get done in the hotel rooms. It just depends. I'd rather be away from the hotel room if I can be. January, when it gets dark early, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it's freezing, then that's when I can get a lot of stuff done in the hotel. But my intention is, hopefully when I get back, I will have this building pretty much done, hopefully. This is the Merchants Row 3 again. It comes with these pre-populated like windows, which is nice, but the choices they gave me well, now I had three. Had a photographer, a bicycle shop, and a plumbing supply. And the bicycle shop just didn't fit with Oak Hill. Photographer is probably not much help either, but they're background buildings. And so I used photographer here, plumbing supply here, and I just made this a vacant building, but it's maintained. It's just, it's just empty right now. Hopefully it'll get rented out. You can see there are people living above it. It's in good shape. All those window shades and hangings and all that, they all come in the kit. So they give a lot of details on the kit. It was really nice. Again, I put the leaves, ground up leaves, on the back wall, but not as heavy as the abandoned building. Anyhow, so I think that's about it for now. Like I said, I will probably post a video. I'm working on some railroad cars, taking roof locks off and things like that, sort of following Roy Smith's method. So I'm not going to duplicate what he told you, because he's giving you some really good information. But I'll sort of show you a couple things that I've done, and maybe shoot an operations video before I go leave on Sunday, and hopefully I can get the whole thing done, and maybe I get 3 videos out of it, and have something to post over the next couple of weeks, because I'm sure when I come home on the weekend I'm going to be mowing grass and doing a lot of other stuff. Won't have time to spend a lot of time in the train room. I want to close on one sort of serious note. A lady I work with, her husband is a minister, a pastor in Louisville, passed away from COVID. He's in his 50s, had no underlying health conditions. So, this Delta variant is, something you don't want to mess with. So I always close, we stay safe, but it, hits home a little bit more this time. So please stay safe.